Hello dudes, Axel here. Welcome to another Axel Tech video. Today I'll be taking a look at PopOS 18.04, the latest version of the Ubuntu-based operating system developed by System76. For those who don't know, System76 is a company that specializes in selling Linux-powered computers, so like servers, desktops, laptops, even tiny little not sure, I don't know what the proper name for those is, but you know, like the little computers that are like very small, kind of like an Intel Nook. Those things. They sell those too. I think it's called the Meerkat? I believe it's called the Meerkat. Probably should have looked into that before this, but I think we all know by now that's not my style because I'm dumb. Don't worry, links to stuff will be in the description below as always. You're free to find your own information, verify or dispute mine. I welcome it. Anyway, PopOS came about after Canonical, the makers of Ubuntu, announced that they were dropping development of Unity 8 and all their plans for convergence, which is a topic well beyond the scope of this particular video. But anyway, after that happened, System76 was like, alright, let's do our own thing. There's probably a lot more thought that was put into it than that, but that's kind of the gist of it. So anyway, after that, we got PopOS. So, the way I have it set up here, it's a fairly stock installation. The only thing that I have added and changed is Gnome tweaks, specifically so I could set mouse acceleration to flat, because mouse acceleration does not play very well with a trackball, at least not how I'm used to using one. Also, yes, I'm using a trackball for those who are like gonna be like, wait, what did he say? Yeah, you didn't mishear me. Don't worry. Yes, I might be crazy. Don't worry, it's normal. Anyway, as we jump in here to Pop, so this is what you'll see not after your first login. The very first thing that you'll see when you log in is a welcome screen. That's going to go over things like to set your keyboard layout and setting up online accounts, which you can also do later through Gnome settings or Control Center. Control Center? Settings, it is settings. What am I thinking of this Control Center? Probably Mate or something, which I don't even use that much. Anyway, so you can also set that up later through Gnome settings, but it does give you the option to set up the online accounts from the welcome screen, so that's pretty nice. Anyway, with PopOS, you get a fairly stock version of Gnome, actually. Obviously, they have their own custom theme, own icons. The icons are based on Papyrus. They're called the Pop icon. Everything is Pop something. Let's actually open up the tweak tool. Easier to show that. Now, it doesn't show here, but the shell is also the Pop stuff. Right, another nice change. In Vanilla Gnome, there's like no Do Not Disturb mode or anything, but you do get one with PopOS, so that's pretty cool. Other than that, though, okay, they do actually ship with some extensions. I thought they didn't, but no, they actually do ship with some extensions. The Do Not Disturb thing is one of them. You also get Alt-Tab only raises first window. I'm not actually sure what that means. Always show workspaces when you're in the overview. Okay, so that is not a vanilla Gnome thing, which I should have known because I'm running Solus Gnome with like no extensions, and that doesn't happen for me. I should get that extension, actually. I want that. Anyway, has that, has Do Not Disturb, has a Pop battery icon fix, which I can't demonstrate here as I have this test running on a desktop. PopShop details adds a show details item to applications if PopShop is installed. That's cool, so it helps it integrate with their use of the PopShop rather than traditional GNOME software, which we'll get into in a moment. They have the suspend button in the status menu, and finally System76 power management, which that sounds like it would be more of an operating system level thing, but I guess it's a GNOME extension. Alright, so that's all the extensions it ships with. Other than that, though, they do have show icons on by default. Right here's all the theme stuff. Your applications are Pop, the cursor is Pop, the icons are Pop, everything is Pop! And it's kind of amusing. They also have a custom font set up using the Fira fonts, which were made by Mozilla for Firefox OS, I think. And I like them. They look pretty nice, actually. Look quite nice. Usually when I'm tweaking things on my own desktop, I don't like normally think of fonts. but like at one point, like after Pop OS announced, or after System 76 announced Pop OS, and it was like, oh, Pop GTK theme, that's neat, that looks nice. When I tried it out, it was like, oh, they recommend these fonts, and I tried them, and I was like, these are awesome. So I like the font choice. I do like the font choice. It's not something I normally think about, but I do like that. They do keep the visible window buttons up here the same as Vanilla Gnome, which is just the close button. So that's interesting. Power stuff, that's by default. No startup applications. Top bar, I believe that's default. I like having seconds showing though. I'm indifferent towards this one, but I always turn it on. So, activities overview hot corner. There's a toggle for the... Is that toggle in Vanilla Gnome? Wait a second. Is that toggle in Vanilla Gnome? Hold on. Gnome tweaks. Was that top bar? Top bar. No. Yes. Top bar. That is not... What? Why is that in there? Probably some other custom thing they did. Although the other customizations they've done are shown as extensions. So we're... What? Well, okay, well, anyway, there you go. The top left hot corner is not enabled by default. I've actually weirdly gotten used to having it on, though. Like, when I first started using Gnome, I hated the top left hot corner. But I've actually been using it lately when I'm lazy. Like, yeah, it's probably better to just go ahead and do the super key. But I don't know, I actually kind of like having it on now for when I'm lazy and just feel like flicking the trackball to somewhere. If I'm like if I'm just like leaning back and just having one hand to do like to navigate my desktop with, it's like, all right, top left hot corner, yay, see all my stuff. Anyway, so yeah, it's a fairly stock configuration of Gnome out of the box with some changes. Menu buttons are of course on the right. Dynamic workspaces. Workspace and primary display. Most of it's pretty standard. Once again, these are the extensions, though. Not a lot of huge changes. So if you're a fan of Vanilla Gnome, you'll probably like this a lot because not a lot has changed. But things that are changed, in my opinion, are for the better. But other than that, speaking of them running Gnome, look how smooth this is. I have never seen Gnome animations run that smoothly except for on Fedora. Like, God, if I were shallow enough to switch operating systems just for smooth desktop animations, Pop OS, dude. Like, I have never seen Gnome run this smoothly. It's amazing. I wish it was like this on Solus. I really do. Oh man, like that's just so beautiful to watch when you're used to it being kind of jittery. Like, I shouldn't say jittery, but just not smooth, not buttery smooth like this. It's so good. But anyway, while I'm opening and closing the applications thing, let's take a look at what's pre-installed. So like I said, the only thing that I included was Gnome tweaks. Other than that, they do also categorize things a bit more than standard Gnome would. You get, of course, calc, calendar, contacts, files, Firefox, a lot of the standard Gnome applications you'd expect. Most distributions ship with Thunderbird. They ship with Geary. That is a notable difference. And Geary's not bad. It's pretty simple. It's basically the same thing you'd get with Elementary OS as well, except Elementary calls it Mail, and there's probably some changes, such as integrating it more with Pantheon, but yes, you get Geary. Of course, gedit, terminal, basic system stuff here. Settings, weather. I don't think weather's installed by default a lot. Is it? I don't know. Utilities. Right, they do actually ship with a couple of elementary developed applications like Eddy. A lot of people using Linux might be familiar with GDebi. Eddy is also a deb file installer, so they ship with that. That's kind of cool. Is this what I think it is? Hold on, USB flasher. If that's what I think it is. No, not what I thought. Popsicle? Popsicle. Popsicle. All right, their USB flasher application is called Popsicle. Good to know. That's funny. All right, Of course, they got LibreOffice installed as well. And yeah, again, other than that, it's fairly minimal, which, I mean, the GNOME desktop itself kind of is, except for, you know, how it usually performs on a lot of systems. But the desktop part of it is very minimal, which I do like quite a lot. But anyway, these are your default favorites. And finally, let's get to the PopShop. So I mentioned earlier how they ship with, okay, I said a couple, I guess it was just two, including this, elementary applications. So PopShop is based on the elementary app center with, I believe there's some changes here. I don't know if the Pix section, okay, correction, the Pix section is kind of in App Center, but it's like different. It's not laid out like this. It has it where it's kind of more like the, what's the word for that, carousel? Where like just you go across and it's just like little dots at the bottom and then the icons are going across. And I think it's called a carousel view. I don't actually know the term for that, but this is how Pop! OS has it. Let's full screen that, maximize. But they have Pix here, and I'm trying to see now. I don't know if any of these are like Snap applications. I think Atom might be. I believe, though it doesn't show anywhere. Because I don't think Atom is in the Ubuntu repo. It might be, but I remember having to install it as a snap. So I don't know if they just don't show if something's a snap or not, or what. They might not. They might not. I'm gonna try to think, like, what is something I know that is just a snap application? Like, I don't know if the PopShop is actually hooked up to snaps or Flatpaks. It might not be because it's, you know, it's the PopShop. I don't know if they've done that, because I know App Center is not yet to either Snap or Flatpak. So this might just be stuff in the Ubuntu repository. I'm not sure. I haven't actually ran an Ubuntu distro for this kind of stuff in a little bit here. Well, okay, it's been like a couple months, not that long, but still. Anyway, what's something I know is a snap? Bitwarden. No. Okay, I don't think that you have snaps available through this, so I guess these are all in the repo. Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised that Visual Studio Code is in the Ubuntu repository, should I? Probably not. Anyway, this is all the stuff you have. So if you're familiar with the Elementary App Center, this is basically that, just with the Pop! OS spin on it. And like with App Center and Elementary, and GNOME Software, and Software Center and Solus, and, well, I guess Software Manager, stuff like this in general, you of course can see what's installed. This will also be where you will run updates and whatnot. So overall, like, I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it, but like, there's other things they do differently. Like, for UEFI systems, I don't think they use Grub. I think they're doing, I think it's CLR Boot Manager, kind of like what Solus and Clear Linux do. I think they took that approach. Right, okay, so the thing I was looking for about what boot manager they use systemd boot. So they don't use Grub, they use systemd boot instead, and I don't know the technical advantages or whatever of doing that, but I can tell you from my experience, it does boot very fast. So it is very nice. Anyway, this is actually a re-record of the end section of this. I don't know why I always tell you guys that, but you know what? Why not? Keep things open, you know? Anyway, yeah, re-recording because I forgot to give like a final verdict sort of thing. If I were not a Solus guy, I would probably run Pop! OS. It is fantastic. If you are a fan of GNOME and you want to continue using an Ubuntu base, I don't think that vanilla Ubuntu is a bad option, but if you're a GNOME person, I would strongly recommend taking a look at Pop! OS. So technically, their target audience is more like makers, developers, computer science people who use their computers to create. But honestly, even though it is like a minimal installation out of the box, I think it could work fairly well for the average user as well. Maybe not the best option for the average user, but it would certainly work. And yeah, very smooth GNOME desktop experience. I don't know what kind of wizardry they did, but it's pretty good. It is pretty good. So anyway, that's going to be it for this one, dudes. If you guys like this, want to see more, make sure to like and let me know in the comments or over on social media and stuff. Also, give me your thoughts on Pop! OS, either in the comments or social media and stuff. If you're watching from PeerTube, preferably get to me through Mastodon or something, because I have nothing against people leaving comments on PeerTube. It's just I don't get notified of PeerTube comments like I do with YouTube comments, so it's like I'd have to, like, actually go and check the video, like each video that I don't want to see. Wonder if there's new comments on this, because there's like no counter or anything, or any notifications that I've gotten a comment on a video through PeerTube. So best way to reach me if you are watching on PeerTube is to go through my Mastodon, which is in the description, or, well, if you're on PeerTube, it's you click the support button. If you're on YouTube, it's in the description. It's going to be linuxrocks.online/@Axel. You can also get to me on Twitter at twitter.com/Axel94. Anyway, till next time, this has been Axel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, and if you have a suggestion for another Linux distribution you'd like me to take a look at, let me know. One more thing! Next video in the roadmap is going over DaVinci Resolve 15. Probably going to do it on the Pop! OS machine here, because I can't get it on Solus right now because we don't have OpenCL stuff yet. Yeah, okay. Next video, DaVinci Resolve 15. Yeah, okay, bye.